Good morning if you're from America. Good evening if you're from India.
Good evening.
That's a trip.
Two different sides of a circular planet.
The same coin.
Because it's flat. The Earth is flat.
Yeah,
it's
the
a
Earth
coin.
is flat and it
It
flips.
is a coin.
And on the other side it's India. It's this side it's America. Yeah.
Today we're learning from Papaji.
I have learned a lot about Papaji since last we watched Papaji.
I
And
have
so
not.
might get some stories.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Mind.
Revenge of the Mind.
It sounds like the name of an album.
It's called Revenge of the Mind.
Imagine, yeah, just Papaji sitting in front of a group of people.
Hey,
Revenge
yo.
of the Mind.
Yes, y'all.
Might have to make that, yeah.
Mind has to take revenge from those people who are quiet, who are silent, and who are enlightened. Mind has to take revenge from them. Why? I tell you. For others, that mind.
Before we get into this, I gotta. Somebody asked Nisargadatta. That's the name. You know who I'm talking about. We did a reaction on him recently. Like he's
The
the one
I
who-
am that.
Yeah, he's the one who wrote "I Am That." And someone says, "How is it that there's some fake gurus and some real ones?" And he's like, "Well, there's some fake ones, so it weeds out the fake seekers." He was like, "All the bad seekers don't find me." He's like, look around you. We're in a room with 30 people. We've weeded out all the bad seekers. And look at what remains. And it's just like funny looking at a space with like not that many people that Papaji's talking to.
Yeah.
Even though there's like a lot of, I don't know, like following around him, it feels like. And like a lot of the teachers that we listen to. I guess Sagar is the only exception. She's got millions of people. Good and bad seekers. There is none. But I just thought that was funny. Yeah.
Doesn't take revenge all at once because he knows I will take slowly next time, later on. This man is available to me always. He is not running away. But if you are silent, mind cannot catch him, mind cannot have him, isn't it? So all of a sudden, full attack from all sides, you see. To take revenge from you, all of a sudden, you break away your friendship. What happened to the friends, old friends? So mind comes now to take revenge. She also asks, and in many cases they ask the same trouble. So what should you do? Before you were sleeping and they were breaking in, your friends breaking in, sitting, entertaining, but now you know something else for the first time to keep quiet, silent. Therefore they can play the mischief and do whatever they want, but seeing you in a different mood, they want to attack you all together, you see. And now what you have got to do, before you did not know, you liked them, isn't it? And now you don't like them, therefore you call them, they attack me. And before they were your friends. Now simply you look at them. When you say they are attacking me in full volume and you are simply aware and look at them and they disappear. Do you follow? For you also is very good. Do you follow what I speak? What? You try it. Here, you are here, you try it. Here, when you go out, here you say, they don't trouble you, but whenever they come, simply look at them. Simply look at them. And what will happen, I can explain to you. Now, for example, you give rise to any thought, so that I can tell you how to do it, or if you have understood it fully or not. You give rise to any thought, and I will tell you how to do it, how to expel it, how not to allow it to enter in your mind, in your heart. Invite yourself, invite a thought and tell me, current thought, you see. Invite yourself, yes, any thought, and tell me what it is currently at this moment, any thought.
I am free.
Huh?
I am free.
Huh?
I am free.
I am free, okay. So, okay. Let these kind of thoughts attack you from all. Yes. Let these kind of thoughts from all quarters attack you. Welcome. Welcome. Where else they can go? Thoughts, these thoughts are friendly thoughts, you see, accumulated by your merits earned millions of years, and they will come to invite you and stay with you for the first time. Otherwise, you were engaged in the bad society, and good friends don't come, you see. When you start drinking and smoking, the good friends don't come. Isn't it? Only this kind of friends will come to you. But when you stop, then this kind of friends will come. Well done. They will encourage you. They will sit, and you will have their association. And this is called satsang. People from heavens, gods of different abodes, also will come to have your satsang. Simply see. Simply look at what's happening. Yeah? Right. Chalo.
Did you understand any of that?
I mostly got the idea of just observing a thought, but I don't know if I missed something. Did you get any of that?
Not a lot. And I think the cool thing is I was still smiling the whole time because Papaji just has this energy about him. Like in the stories I heard about him, they like talk about how wherever he went for his whole life, even before realization, people would flock to him. Like his daughter would say that we'd moved to a new town because he changed jobs very often. And within 24 hours, there would be people trying to break into the house because they like recognized him as a teacher immediately.
Whoa. Even though he wasn't realized at the time.
Yeah, like he just had that energy about him his whole life.
Whoa.
Yeah. Crazy. And just the way he speaks to the people. Like how he's just, I mean, just like so many other teachers when they're like, someone asks them a question and they just like, he just like looks so lovingly at the person. He's just so intent. And his like facial expressions is like guiding you along, and he's so gentle and kind.
Yeah, it's interesting how he invites the questioner up to like go right.
Yeah. So we can like look in the eyes of the person who asked the question, and it's not just this like generalized answer. I feel like that this is why sometimes videos like this give me more of a response, even if I don't like totally understand what he was saying. Like gives me more of a response than like someone asks a question on social media and it gives it goes to like Sadhguru or someone and they answer it. Like there's something different about the teacher or the guru giving this very direct response to someone, and how Papaji will oftentimes be like, it's like interactive. It's not just like him speaking. It's like he asks them questions. He like sees where they're at. I feel like that's the beauty of like these one-on-one interactions with gurus, is that they have this like insight to see exactly where you're at as a human and give you the information that you need, not just like general information that everyone could use. It's like you specifically.
Yeah. I think one of the big topics on my mind has been, or I've been, with this like amount of crazy mental chatter I've been feeling like noticing that a lot of it is built on like shame, guilt, whatever, XYZ, like these, like as he was kind of saying, if you have thoughts that are just kind of saying like I am free, it's like you don't worry about those at all. But if you have thoughts that are like eating you, making you feel like tense and stuff, but I've been noticing that a lot of them, it feels like the root is like a lack of acceptance, and the like outward expression of that is like wanting, trying to be a people pleaser, like trying to get people to give me that acceptance. But more and more understanding that even if I get certain people's acceptance, there's still that chatter in my head.
Yeah.
So it's like that needs to get fixed first. But that kind of thing was bringing me to the place where a lot of people, when they describe meeting their guru, they're like, I've never felt so much acceptance.
Yeah.
So much love. Like
unconditional love.
Someone
yeah.
who knew everything about me, just looking at me
Yeah.
and being like, that's okay.
Dude. Also kind of tripped me out is sometimes it's very comforting to me to recognize how insignificant I am, or my problems are, or any of my efforts are. Like, and this sometimes plays like a reverse role as well, where it's like, I don't know how to describe this, but where you were just saying like all of these things that you're facing. And I recognize very distinctly that I don't know about any of those things. Like, none of those things come up to me. None of those things that that you are mentioning in your mind when you say like shame and guilt, like none of that's coming up for me, because that's not my experience. And so all those things are so isolated to your experience. So therefore, like anything that I would be shameful about is so isolated to my experience.
Yeah.
Because you oftentimes put it as like, oh my gosh, everyone's blaming me for this.
Yes.
And it's like, that's probably just you.
It's literally just you.
Yeah, and that's so small.
Because even when you start thinking about like people in your external environment, if they're blaming you for something, that's still all just happening in your head.
Yeah.
Your perception of all of that.
Right.
And the way that you're taking that in, the way that you're dealing with that. And that doesn't mean that you deny things that are happening in your external world. But I've been noticing, like, even if the external world is in that, like, judgmental, shameful, like, feeling like there's certain tension there, me perceiving all that tension, holding all that tension, makes my response to it create more tension. It's just like pulling the knot tighter rather than like, somehow, or understanding that it's like, it's on me to loosen up inside of me. And only once I'm doing that am I going to handle the external things in a way that's going to loosen them. Like before that, it's just going to be more confusion. It's tough. It's not tough. It's just it's just like when the things become very real in your face and you're like, all right, well, we're riding now.
Something that just came to mind was that you do this thing sometimes where you'll say something and then it feels like you get caught, or like feel like you're losing touch with reality. You specifically. and you're losing touch with reality, or something happens on the inside that like flips, and then you like stop and you say, not to say that you shouldn't XYZ. I'm just interested in that.
Did I just do that?
Yeah. You were just like,
Yeah. What was the?
you like pause and you're like, you were talking about how all the blame is felt on the inside. You're like, not to say that you shouldn't put focus on the external, or like, not that you should deny the external. And I'm not saying that that's like
That is interesting.
right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's just I've just noticed you do that a decent amount, where it's like, it feels like you're, at least from my perception, like you're afraid to get caught in Neverland or something. Like you're afraid to like lose touch with like the world. Just a observation.
Yeah. No, that's interesting, because we were just talking about in the last Sadhguru video we reacted to, like dreams of a, like someone being there who felt like a being that could somehow like enlighten me or something like that, or just put me closer to that kind of state, and me always feeling like this blockage. And it might be like or that just led to some interesting ideas about, because we were also just talking about in between that episode and this one, how, like, I asked Mitch, do you think that the guru, the separation between you and guru is simply a belief? And Mitch was saying, like, or I guess you could say what you said.
I said that recently because we were talking in the last episode, it was the Sadhguru on Peace, about grace and like how to receive it. And I guess my response to that was that it's maybe belief, but mostly what I've been noticing is it's my own personal inability to surrender myself. Because like total and absolute unconditional surrender seems to be what is required to receive grace from a guru, from the self, from whatever you want to call it. And that's not possible if you're like, oh, I surrender, but you still want to take a piece of yourself along the ride with you and just like hide it, because nothing can be hidden in these realms. It's like, it's all just you. So who are you hiding it from?
I think it also goes to, like, I've heard teachers and felt this myself, like a fear of freedom. Like a fear of absolute freedom. Because it would mean potentially such a different thing that you are. It would mean no more of whatever this is.
Yeah.
And that's freaky.
Yeah. And it's like, for me, it's like, well, then will I never get to do this? And will I never have this connection again? And will this be meaningless to me now? And it's like, that's so scary. But in the times where I've felt most free, it's like,
all those things have been meaninless.
Yeah, and it's like, that's awesome. I love that feeling.
I'm glad.
And so why am I scared of it right now?
Yeah. No, it goes back to that idea of, like, you're going to laugh at yourself one day when you see how you've always been the self.
Yeah.
Or, like, that's a Rama Maharshi. But, like... But, yeah, it's literally, like, something needs to die.
Yeah.
And be dropped.
Unconditionally. Not dropped in a way where you can pick it back up.
Exactly. And and that goes back to those dreams where it's like, it feels like I'm not ready to drop the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like step one for me with that has been just absolutely, anytime I think about a like or a dislike, dropping that. Like, that's where it starts for me, is just on any level. Like, even denying. There was a crazy, like, really life transforming experience that happened recently after I wrote this thing in my journal, where it was like, I literally wrote like contradictory facts. Like the earth is round, the earth is flat. Like I like Democrats, I like Republicans. Something that I would have always taken a stance on. And it was like I just wrote it all down and I was like, both of these are true. And then like soon after, something opened in me that was like really powerful. So that's been something that I've been trying to like keep very diligent at, because I think it's easy to lapse back into the likes and the dislikes if you don't stay diligent with like, you literally have no stance, nowhere to stand. Like you're not standing anywhere, no stand. Like every single day you have no stance. You're not for or against it. Like the worst humanitarian crises, no stance. You're not for or against it. Like literally anything you could think of, the thing that triggers you the most, you're not for or against it. That has led me some places and has continued to do so.
And that's literally just like melting Mitch, you know, because like much of your personality is just your preferences.
And it's like you do have to resist that thing that we were just talking about that you do sometimes of like, well, but what about this? Like wait, no, let me look around. Let me look at the news again and see how bad it is. Maybe I'm forgetting how bad it is. You know, like all that shit that happens, like to quell that excited part of yourself is also key in that process. Yeah.
That's some stuff right there, man.
Yeah, that just made me really realize that it's like you can't have one foot back here while you're going. It's like you just need to go, and if your foot back there is there because like what will people say? It's like forget that. Forget that. It's like, or even what would I say? Because you're also trying to forget that. Like,
and it's so weird because like so much of the time, like hearing that type of thing, like then putting myself in a situation where it's like, what is society gonna say or whatever?
Yeah.
Those times, you know, we always have this thing that like losing that is gonna make things worse somehow. You know? But then the times that you felt the best, those things haven't mattered.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy that it's like somehow put in a lock, you know? And like, who cares? Nobody cares. It's just madness happening in your mind.
Doesn't matter at all. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Anything else?
I just want to be able to take Eli and like drop it.
Yeah.
And just step away.
Yeah. I felt that a couple weeks ago. That was like a burning inside of me. At a certain point, it's just like I cannot live with myself anymore. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I cannot do it. Yeah. It's like maddening at times. And it's funny how you don't feel bad about the maddeningness when it's gone. Like you think you will feel bad about it. But then when it's gone, it's like you don't feel bad that it happened or like remorseful or anything. What a trip.
Life's a trip.
True.
That was a ride, eh?
Yeah. Wow. That started with Papaji that we didn't understand.
Yeah. Maybe he did communicate something. That's just what put us off.
That's what I'm saying. Like that video gave me a response, and like part of me was like, we should probably like stop this reaction. Like I didn't learn anything. But then like something on the inside was like, I'm feeling something more than the previous 2 episodes that we just watched, and I understood everything that was said in those previous 2 episodes. And here I just didn't understand anything he was saying.
What? Dang, did you guys understand? Because you could help us out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on my way. I know I am. Somewhere not so far from here. Just keep on working hard, boy, as you may. You're gonna wind up where you started from.
Someday.
Cat Stevens.
Oh.
Well, I think that's enough for now. Hey?
I don't know. What do you say?
Yeah. Yeah, that's enough for now. Much love. In sync!